even if we did not have the floods right now, you will still be dealing with this. Well, here's a story from the Punch newspaper. FG implements cooking gas import tax, price jumps by 100%. The federal government has implemented a 7.5% tax on imported liquefied petroleum gas, popularly called cooking gas, as the cost of the commodity leaped by over 100% within a period of 8 months. It was gathered on Sunday. Government implemented the VAT on the LPG imports about 3 weeks ago, and some dealers were also mandated to pay the tax for commodities imported several months ago. Operators told our correspondent that Nigeria imports about 70% of the commodity, while the rest was mainly supplied by the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Company. It was also gathered that the cost of a 12.5 kg of cooking gas that sold for about 3,500 naira in December 2020 has jumped to as high as 6,800 naira in parts of Abuja. A resident along the Lagos-Ibadan road says she bought the commodity on Sunday at 7,200 naira in Lagos, as dealers projected that the cost might hit 10,000 naira in December this year. Wow. And also, this was on the news on our bulletin. I think it was yesterday. River State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources, Peter Medee, says the sudden increase in the price of LPG, popularly called cooking gas, is due to the federal government's implementation of the 7.5% VAT on imported liquefied petroleum gas. He told our correspondent that the reduced price of cooking gas in River State is because there is a trunk gas plant in Port Harcourt. He said the price of cooking gas is higher in other states. Now, here's what he said.
It's federal government policy. It's federal government policy. So as a state, we have little we can do because it's on the exclusive list. Before now, gas from LNG in Tony used to go to Lagos, where they have the plant that will convert it into cooking gas. But with the enabling environment that the state government has provided, today we have a stopgap plant in Ruminimini, where instead of the gas now to go to Lagos, then they will start trucking it back to River State with the attendant cost. That is being done presently in River State. And because it's being done in River State to cover the whole of South and Southeast, what we are seeing as increase in price now would have been more if the price of trucking it from Lagos was added. Well, the only thing any state can do is to boost supply, which is providing that enabling environment for investors to begin to invest in that area.
As you may know, a 12.5 kg of cooking gas that sold for about 3,500 naira in June now sold for 6,500 naira in Port Harcourt and about 6,500 naira in other states. Well, what's responsible for this? What's causing this ugly situation? How are people coping with it? What do we need to do to bring the price down? These and other related matters we're discussing right now. My guest is John Vivarfan. Dr. Peter Medee is River State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources. Commissioner, good evening to you. You're welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Dayo.
Thanks for having me here. You're very welcome. I know that some explanation has been given for why the price is up right now. We're importing this, there's some tax that's been imposed by the federal government and all of that. But I mean, we've been imported. I don't think that the importation of cooking gas started last month or in the last 8 months. We must have been importing it all this while. But what is, in your estimation, is critically responsible for the incredible hike in the price in a period of less than a year, going from about 3,500 naira to about 7,000 naira in River State, for example? There must be some critical reason beyond the fact that we're importing it, or that the federal government imposed some extra tax or something like that. What do you think is the major factor here?
Well, thanks for that question. The issue here is, first and foremost, there is an upsurge in the demand for LPG. Before now, a lot of people were using fossil fuel as well as kerosene. So you agree with me that kerosene has been very, very scarce, and also too there is a migration more from fossil fuel. So this actually is part of the increase in demand. But that is triggered by federal government policy that is being implemented by the National Gas Expansion Program. The National Gas Expansion Program is an initiative of federal government that tries to make more Nigerians to migrate from fossil fuel as well as other energy sources because of their impact on the environment. So that's a policy which also River State government also expressed interest to participate, has actually driven demand for cooking gas, not just the gas itself, including the accessories. And so, with that upsurge in demand, definitely a critical economic situation that price will increase, especially when supply is still constant. So I think that's part of it. Also, the increase in tax. When a particular item is being taxed, definitely the tax is passed on to the end consumer. And so that also is a factor where government is now taxing VAT on almost all the products, including gas. But the critical situation is that we are also in a situation where more gas is being imported into the country. This is also an aberration, because if you look at the quantity of gas that is being flared in this country, and then especially in the Niger Delta area, and then we are importing gas, I think something is wrong. So this
exactly, Commissioner. How does one explain that? I mean, we are an oil-producing nation, like you rightly mentioned as well. We've got humongous gas reserves in the country also, and it beats the imagination that in spite of these obvious facts, we're importing gas and the price is soaring to incredible heights. How does one resolve that?
Well, it's critical. Resolving that kind of situation all boils back to federal government. What we are talking about is a product, and this product is part of the product that are on the exclusive legislative list of government. And because they are on exclusive legislative list of government, the state government has no hand or little they can do in establishing the situation. So the gas flaring program is also a very, very terrible situation in this country. I was also part of the public hearing on gas flaring. I led the state delegation, and we made our case that for now, everybody that will invest in the oil sector, they should ensure that it is being accompanied by a gas utilization plan. Because a situation where a company does not have a gas utilization plan, where in producing crude oil, you must have gas, and this gas is being flared, which is not the case in other developing countries. But here in Nigeria, because there is weak legislation and also very weak institutions, well, what you have here is they now say, okay, you can flare social quantity and pay this much. And so people prefer to flare it and pay whatever. And if they're actually paying, nobody knows. And if they are paying, who they are paying to, nobody knows. So there are a lot of compromise. And in that case, a lot of gas is being flared. However, we made a case that henceforth going forward, every company or organization that will do business in the oil sector must accompany their request with a gas utilization plan. Because if you convert this liquefied natural gas, you either convert it into LPG, which is the cooking gas, or CNG, which is also what that can enable you to do gas to power. In this country, electricity is suffering. Meanwhile, we are throwing away those gas. We are flaring it, destroying the environment, destroying the atmosphere.
Why do you suppose, Commissioner, why do you suppose that the oil majors or the oil companies are not investing in that sector? Because obviously it's a commodity that's very much needed. There's a market for it. You mean cooking gas is very much needed. Gas also is needed in the power sector. I know that I imagine we can export a lot of that also. Why do you think the investors in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria are not looking or investing heavily in that direction?
Well, the answer is the question is begging for answer. Well, they have tried. We have the LNG plant in Boni. That's also a huge investment, and they're trying to do the Train 7 now that will collect more of this gas. But it is not enough. It's just like the petroleum issue that we're talking about. They prefer a situation where they will export this crude or export this gas in their quantity. They use the money to go back to the international market to buy the product, the output from the same crude oil that they have exported. So I think something is wrong somewhere. By the time you go to Boni now, the LNG, you see the quantity they are exporting. As they export this much, they use the money to go back to the same international market to also import the subsidiary products from these main products they have exported. This is not very healthy for an economy. And that's why you can see our foreign exchange is suffering every day. The exchange rate for the Naira is suffering every day. Because for every international transaction, you have two exchanges. One, the exchange of your currency for the currency of your trading partner. Second, you now use the currency so sourced to now use that to pay for the goods and services you want to buy. So now, it is only when they want to buy crude oil or gas that the foreigners come to the foreign exchange market to demand for Naira. Now, but we now, when they now pay off for that product, we use it now to buy everything. We buy everything. We buy petrol, we buy diesel, we buy kerosene, we buy toothpick, we buy brass, we buy bottle, we buy water, we buy everything. So a situation where we buy everything from the international market, that's why you can see the Naira is suffering. The Naira is suffering at the sacrifice of our excessive demand for the foreign products, which include this gas and also include petroleum products. This is the reality. Because the economy works like a human body. That's how the economy works. So in a situation where you sell only one product and use the money from that product to now buy everything. So that's why we're suffering.
Commissioner,
for excessive and aggressive investment in this country.
Now, Commissioner,
we must provide an enabling environment.
Yes.
We must.
Now, the issue of taxation. Now, taxation.
So that we attract investment to this country.
Commissioner, pardon me. Taxation is a very critical matter. I mean, it's a major policy issue for any government, and I imagine that includes the Nigerian government as well. Before any tax is set or imposed, I imagine that a lot of discussions and deliberations must have gone into it. The possible impact of the tax as well on businesses, especially the businesses that are being taxed, and the multiplier effect on the economy. I imagine many things go into any plan to impose or set up any kind of tax of whatever nature. What do you think the federal government is gone in for here? What do you think the plan is with this implementation of a 7.5% tax on imported LPG, which is said to have contributed immensely as well to the soaring gas prices right now? What do you think the federal government is trying to accomplish here? What's the policy framework here? What's the plan?
Well, you know, in every economy, increase in tax is to boost income to government. It's to boost revenue. Because every government needs revenue. And the revenue, which is the income from government, will come from different sources, including tax.
But imposition of taxes, pardon me, Commissioner, imposition of taxes could also be used as a tool to discourage consumption of a particular commodity.
No, but that's not the case here.
Okay.
That's not the case here, because what is happening here, like I told you, is that there is the federal government policy of the National Gas Expansion Program. Because the government cannot say that we want to expand the use of gas, and then the same government goes to tax people to discourage them to use the product. So that's why my argument is not in that direction. My argument is in the direction that government lacks revenue. And because they lack revenue, that's why they're trying to tax every taxable product and individuals to see how they can.
Okay, so if government, if government wants to expand, Commissioner, pardon me, if government wants to expand gas usage in Nigeria, and then you impose a tax, and then prices are soaring, and then people can't afford to buy the gas any longer, how are you expanding gas usage then?
Well, that is why I never took my argument in that direction. I had that direction constant because the National Gas Expansion Program, I'm representing Rivers State on that program. We have about 18 states that are key into that program. And Rivers State, we also express our interest. And we are in a discussion with the program every day. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a problem now with the economy. The problem is that there's no income. There's no revenue. Revenue to government is tough. And government needs a lot to do. So that's why maybe it is in the direction to get some revenue that they are trying to put tax everywhere. Everywhere. But I know that by the time we reconvene in our next meeting of the National Gas Expansion Program, I will bring up this. Because as an economist, it's exciting that if you want to expand gas utilization, to discourage the use of fossil fuel and also solve climate change problems, then why increase the price of the product? So as you increase price of the product, you are also chasing away prospective consumers for that product and thereby discouraging it. So it is an irony. And that's why I said I am concerned. However, what is key in all this is that this country needs to aggressively provide an enabling environment that will attract investment. That is key. And that's why if you watch in Rivers State, what His Excellency is doing in Rivers State is to provide that basic infrastructure and those things that will set the pace to attract more investment. Let me tell you, just like you heard from the soundbite, today the price of gas in Rivers State would have been more if it were still when they were trucking gas from Lagos. Because what usually be was that from LNG plant in Bonny, gas is trucked or shipped to Lagos, where it is being converted into LPG and CNG. Now, all those who want LPG from the whole of South-South and the whole of South-East will now go to Lagos. So as they go to Lagos to now buy this product, they will now truck it down to Port Harcourt before they start giving it to the plant. Now, assuming that was still the case, by today, they would have added the cost of trucking it from Lagos to whatever is the price now, and it would have been very, very high. It would have been more high. So, but today, because of the enabling environment created by this government, we have had a mega plant now owned by Top Gas in Rumuni that is now collecting the gas from Bonny and then converting it here in Port Harcourt. I have been to that plant, and they are doing terribly well in that. So that's why now, instead of going to Lagos to truck it down, you can go to Rumini to truck the gas from there to the end of the plant in Rivers State, thereby reducing the cost of trucking it from Lagos. So what is key, and my argument is that federal government and any government in Nigeria need to aggressively look at what they can do to attract more investment. That investment we attracted in Rivers State is paying off. And so you can now see the extent of what His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State is doing in that direction of attracting foreign investment, attracting national investment by providing those enabling environments.
You are welcome to join the conversation right now. Come into questions. Do join in. The lines are open. Numbers to call 0817 93 0002, 0817 93 0003, and 0817 93 0007. If you're just joining the conversation, you're welcome. I'm speaking with the Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources in Rivers State, Dr. Peter Medee. We're discussing sudden soaring prices of cooking gas in the country at the moment. In a matter of some months, the price has more than doubled in some cases. I know someone who purchased it, a 12.5 kg cylinder for 7,000 naira quite recently. To the phone lines now, we've got Tony from OGRA. Hello, Tony. Welcome. Go ahead.
That's my question to the Commissioner. It is true that by economic principles, the available gas and the demand of the consumers in Nigeria, the available gas supply is lower. And so the simple economic principle of higher prices due to over-demand is affecting us. Not our potential. Potentially, we have so much gas reserves, but what is supplied is affecting us. That is why the prices are increasing. That's one. Two, yes, you said government needs revenue. Government is shooting itself in the foot. How? As of today, there are illegal deductions from citizens of this country to the knowing of the federal government, the state government, and the local government. A case in point are the towns and all our tax. Go to the airport, you use the airport, I know, the commissioner, you pay cash to somebody that cannot account to you. Those are leakages. Three, government have not been able to tax every taxable entity in this country. That is true. All the people that pay tax are up to 50%. That is loss of revenue. Four, every time the government declares they lost X amount of billions in the maritime sector, X amount of billions in this sector, X amount in various sectors of this country, billions are lost. They are comfortable declaring the losses rather than making the money and give it to the citizens, using it as money they need. Finally, the government has failed to partner with foreign investors to move their wherewithal, their capital, their resources into Nigeria, and has made Nigeria similar to where we are looking for dollar to go and spend in other people's economy, thereby our capital flight. All as a result of the leadership of government. It's not me, it's not Dayo, it's not the common man, it's you people in government. The person in government that has the capacity. You may answer those questions, sir.
All right. So great to hear from you. But let's take Godwin's call first. Godwin from Rumunduru, you're welcome. Please go on.
Good evening, Dayo.
You're welcome, Godwin. Go ahead.
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening.
Yeah. Doctor, as an economist, a renowned economist, we are not currently you are still a lecturer and a commissioner. Now, why don't you encourage the state governments to, on their own, to build more plants? On their own. I know it's on exclusive list, but this government will build it in partnership with private sector, because the consumption of gas is growing day in, day out everywhere in Nigeria, not only in River State. But and at the same time, you want to discourage people from this fossil fuel, and you are increasing the price of the cooking gas. It negates the law of economics, which you taught us as a lecturer.
All right, Commissioner, you want to respond to that?
Well, let me thank the two of them. I agree with the first speaker that there are a lot of leakages in the system as a result of weak institutions, which I've also said, and the corrupt practices. And less of people, Nigerians are not patriotic, no patriotism. And so that's also part of the problem that has taken us where we are. Secondly, the second caller was trying to talk about government to build. Government is not very good in investment. Government is not a very good manager of business, especially even in well-structured and developed economy. Not to talk of our own economy here that is weak, with all these attributes of corruption and other ones. When you ask government to go and build, like when government builds tomorrow, what happens to it? Look at, we have refineries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this country. Look at how it's struggling. Yet they cannot refine one product. Where we are today, we will not be if kerosene was in use. Because when kerosene was in use, how many persons were depending on gas? People were not depending on gas. A lot of the other downtrodden people in society were using more of kerosene. But today you cannot find kerosene anywhere because it cannot be refined in the country. Importing it is a problem. So, my dear, the reality is that government is not good in building, this investment platform that you're talking of. I agree that we taught such in school, But you still need to situate capitalism and socialism. You know, the Nigerian economy is more of a capitalist economy than a socialist economy. And if it is more of a capitalist economy, it means that there are more private individuals participating, playing a role in the economy than the socialist economy where more government participation. Now, what we are doing in Rivers State today is that His Excellency has approved that we look for partners that can build the 15 modular refineries that we got approval from federal government. And so we are looking for those to build. Where are they? Where are they? Nigerians who prefer to steal our money and go and bank it in foreign countries and create jobs there than here. We have been taking presentation from those that can build the refinery for us in Rivers State. But sadly, I will tell you that after the first and second stage of the presentation, when it comes to feasibility studies and engineering designing, you don't see them again. So this is the reality. Who are ready to invest? But from tomorrow, I'll be receiving a team from Poland that is coming to look at the West to energy program in the state. They are coming. What do we do to create that enabling environment for them to be able to come and invest? As we speak to you today, a delegation from Rivers State is going to attend the U.S. Nigerian International Summit, Investment Summit. A delegation, His Excellency has approved for them to go. All that are deliberate policy of Rivers State government to see what we can do to be able to attract more investment to Rivers State. And I am on that delegation. So, my dear, what we just need to do is to support this government in Rivers State. Because this government has meant well for Rivers people. We are looking forward to turn Rivers State into Lagos, where we can have so much investment. If we have all this investment, we are not conceding. We have another stopgap plan, about 3, 4, or 5 in Rivers State. They will be competing now for price because there will be an excessive increase in supply. And when supply increases, because of their high level of competition, because of their rivalry, you will see that the price will come down.
Commissioner,
so it is critical that we attract more investment.
I don't have to go for a commercial break now, a brief one. We'll return in a moment. The conversation will continue. The Commissioner will still be on the phone, of course, and we'll get one of your comments and questions on the matter at hand. Do please stay with us. Hard Fast returns in a bit.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Okay, Mark, still has Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. Conversation continues. FG implements cooking gas import tax. Price jumps by 100%. My guest who's joined me for this conversation is Dr. Peter Medee, Rivers State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources. Commissioner, you're welcome once again. Hello? 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 Commissioner? Right, hello, Commissioner. Welcome back. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay, fantastic. I can hear you now. Welcome back. So, join the conversation. The lines are open once again. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. Also, what do you make of the increase in the price? How is it affecting you as well? What impact is it having on your family, on your household? Let's get your take via WhatsApp once again, 0809-030-6416. We are live on facebook.com /Nigerian for page. You can leave a comment there as well. Solomon Benton via Facebook goes, I've not seen one thing to be happy with as long as Buhari-led administration is on. This is the change in an unfavorable way. God help us. And Emmanuel, okay. Late Tile Rotimi Festus goes, Pennywise pound foolish. The government is stiffening the masses to sustain governance. When the masses die, I wonder who will enjoy the economy. All right. Also, Rotimi Festus on Facebook goes, truly it's cheaper to flare. Government is failing in its responsibility and taxing the wrong part, and the tax should be on gas flaring. We've got Lawson on the line from Rumeme. Lawson, hello, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
You're welcome. Go on.
If I may go by the question, whether if we are comfortable with the price, the new price for cooking gas. I think let's even first ask, where do we get cooking gas from? If it is absolutely imported, if it's a product that is imported outside the country totally, or it is what we mine here and then sell to our people.
About 70% of our cooking gas is imported.
70% of our cooking gas imported. Is it that what of the gas NLNG produced is all of that is imported too?
No, LNG is responsible for the remaining 30% that we use.
That we use?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's my concern. Because if what we produce here can be enough, or if that means all of what we are doing is, all of what LNG is doing is, it cannot be accounted for, then that's it. But if we are producing it here and at the same time we are buying it at this exorbitant rate, it calls for concern.
Quite so.
More so when this is mine even just within us here. To the best of my knowledge, I can tell you that 40% of the gas produced in Nigeria comes from Soku. So whatever the process is, it does not take that much for it to get to the end users. So why should it be that expensive? It's a cause for concern. The 30% that we are even augmenting to the 70%, like you said, they are importing, should cushion. I mean, that amount should not be that exorbitant for us. It's really worrisome.
Lawson, great to have him here. Commissioner, I have a question for you now. What do you what do you suppose the soaring prices, what impact would it have on the economy?
Well, you know definitely that increase in price is not good for the economy, because increase in price will also lead to an increase in inflation. And you know, we already have a bad situation where our rate of unemployment is increasing. And so in a situation where inflation is increasing, unemployment is increasing, then that's inflation. And also that has a lot to do with the living index of the people. So whether it is cooking gas or any other product, I think we should be able to do our very best to put the price under control, because unprecedented increase in the price of any product, especially at the general price level, is totally inflation. And if an increase in inflation with increase in unemployment, you know what that means in an economy? It's like a patient that has the increase in sugar as well as increase in BP. So it is a bad case.
We've got Inamdi on the line from Rumosi. Inamdi, you're welcome. Please go on.
Okay, thank you, Dayo. Please, the quick question is, the 7.5% that the government is taxing, are they backlogging it for the last 8 months or so? Are the marketers going to pay that 7.5% per month for the month that they did not pay?
All right. Commissioner?
Yes.
Did you get the question?
Yeah, he's talking about 7.5%, whether it is brought back.
Yes.
Well, I will not be able to answer that question, because if you listen, you will know that presently River State government is challenging federal government on the collection of VAT. We're challenging them. So for now, it is federal government that is collecting VAT, and so federal government should be able to explain what they use that for.
All right. Once again, join the conversation. We've got comment via WhatsApp. Good evening. The consequences of this will be to impoverish Nigerians and depletion of our already depleted forest. Raphael goes, I've heard good proposals from my brother, the Honorable Commissioner. I heard him talk of a waste recycling factory before now. Please ask him the junction that factory has reached at the moment. Good proposals, good efforts to salvage the energy wahala, especially in Rivers State. Will the Commissioner's proposals and efforts appear more beautiful than flyovers? Time will tell. That from Raphael. So, Commissioner, Raphael would like to know the stage at which some of these proposals or these lofty ideas you described a while ago. He'd like to know what stage these ideas or proposals are at this time.
Okay, for the waste to energy, the team is arriving tomorrow from Poland, and while he's taking the state, they will look at the waste disposal and collection system. Then they will be able to have interface with stakeholders, and then after then, we're expecting them to come take the information back and then come back to build the plant. But the company we are dealing with is the company that owns the plant, so they are not going to import. They are not going to go and get the plant from somewhere. They are the manufacturer of the plant that will be able to convert our waste now into energy. But with the way we are planning, it's going to be such that the waste collection in the state now, everybody will guard their waste jealously, because they may got to the stage where they will even come to your house to buy waste from you. So in that case, everybody will keep their waste. They will no longer litter the street. So we are trying to solve the problem of the environment in the state, littering of waste, as well as to provide additional energy for River State. So it's going to be a very good one. This is the kind of thing that His Excellency is planning for River people. And this is the kind of thing that we are looking forward to deliver back to this state. So that by the time this government is going out, we'll be able to see a brand new state with a lot of these investments in River State.
Commissioner.
Who are technocrats were brought to support government, and the ideas are coming good. But one thing is that we will not be able to force them. By the time they look at what is there in the state, they'll be able to now decide whether to come or not to come.
All right, Commissioner, we've got Sunday was on the line. Sunday is gone. Pardon me, Commissioner.
One good thing about this is that their plan is in categories. And so they will not say that, okay, because the waste generated here is not much, they will not come. They have plans for smaller weight. They have plans for medium
Commissioner, pardon me.
So we're hoping they will come.
I don't have to take a call. Echo from LMA, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Fine evening to you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
I'm a gas man. I deal in gas.
Great.
And I've been here for like 7 years now. Dayo, sometime last year, the federal government, organized a seminar, a workshop in Port Harcourt here. The Commissioner for Energy was there. We had delegation and stakeholders in the oil and gas industry. And basically the message there was for us to go and encourage as many Nigerians to start using cooking gas. This year is the year of gas. So we are giving message to go and preach. And since then we have been on the field preaching, telling Nigerians to use gas. And as at then, gas was sold for 3,500 naira or less. Today, the same things we told to convince to start using gas and now buying gas for 6,500, 6,700, 6,800, and 7,000 naira. How is it to portray us? Those of us that we are asked to go and encourage Nigerians to start using gas. But before now, we are getting our gas from Lagos.
Okay.
Before stock gas came into the picture. And as at then, we are selling gas for 3,400, 3,300, and 3,500 maximum from Lagos. And today we have a gas depot here in Port Harcourt. And gas is being sold at the rate of 6,500 naira and even 7,000 naira. I'm finding it very difficult to reconcile it in that the angle that we get something from Lagos and sell at the rate of 3,500, and today we are buying it from Port Harcourt here and we are selling for 6,000, 6,500 and 7,000 naira. But this is not rocket science. It's a very simple something. The challenge we are having is dollar. Hello.
Yes, Echo.
It's the major challenge we have. But I don't know, Commissioner is here. We buy gas, we get gas from LNG. It's here in Nigeria. LNG will mandate you to with dollars. You can't eat with naira. So for this issue to be resolved, Nigeria government have to rise to the occasion and tell LNG to sell gas to us with naira and not that. If the LNG start selling gas in naira, you see this issue be resolved. Now for you to source for forest is very difficult. For you to get forest, you get forest and you go to LNG, you buy gas with dollar. Now when you now convert that dollar to naira, it becomes very huge. And that is the challenge we are having. So, Commissioner, I want to ask, is it difficult for government to mandate LNG to sell gas to people who are in the industry with naira? And another challenge is this VAT. The economy is very hard. People are finding it very difficult to feed. And government has been fit to increase VAT now. And look at another thing. I'm not speaking part of it.
Echo, you have to wrap it up shortly.
Now. It's a very serious situation. We in the industry, frankly speaking, we are not enjoying it. Most of us, some persons that I know have already closed shops. Some are even looking for other alternatives. I'm looking for that business to engage in. I want to beg. The commissioner I've met with the commissioner several times. I've been with him in one occasion or the other. I'm begging for him to please put more effort so that the business will be more lucrative and more enjoyable for us. Thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner. Over to you.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you. The last caller has made some effort, but he asked a question. Why is it that the price is higher now than when they were bringing from Lagos? And if you listen to me, I have said it that if it were today that they were bringing it from Lagos, it would have been more hard because then VAT was not increased. Then what was the exchange rate? The exchange rate then was about 180 naira to a dollar. Today it's about 530. So that's the reality of it.
I think he's also asking if LNG can be mandated to sell gas to Nigerians in naira as against some foreign currency.
Well, that is the policy of federal government. Like I said, this is on an exclusive list of government, and the state has little we can do. When it comes to the price differential or price initiative of LNG, LNG is a private company that has a federal government component, and it is only the federal government that will be able to intervene in their situation. But the crisis here is that we need investment. market, they export more gas than the one they process in Nigeria. Now, when they export it, they bring the money back now to still go back to buy processed gas and import them into Nigeria with this high exchange rate. This is the reality. And that's why I'm calling for more investment in Nigeria so that we can process this gas in Nigeria, so that we can refine this crude in Nigeria. If we do all this, we should have cut off importation. And the more we cut off importation, the more we reduce the pressure on the naira.
Commissioner, we have to wrap this up. We have to wrap this up in a moment. Commissioner, we have to wrap this up shortly. But a final question, I suppose. There are projections that the price of a 12.5 kg cylinder of gas may hit 10,000 naira by December. Do you align with that projection?
Well, I cannot just align with that projection unless we have the index. I have the indices.
Okay.
What we are saying is that the naira, the exchange rate, is part of this problem because this product is being imported, and in as much as there's more pressure on the naira in terms of the exchange rate with the dollar or any other currency of the trading partner, then it means that this price will continue to increase. Assuming they're not conceding that the dollar increase tomorrow, the exchange rate of the naira with the dollar increase tomorrow to 1,000, where you have 1,000 naira to exchange for a dollar. It means that what we are selling the cooking gas today will also triple by 100%.
So, Commissioner, what do you advise? What do you advise Nigerians, and especially the good people of Rivers State, who are hard hit by these soaring prices of gas? What do you advise them to do right now?
My number one advice is that we must be very, very careful, because with this increase in price now, there are lots of illegal gas outlets now coming up, where you now see people do decanting gases on the street of Port Harcourt. And that is very, very risky in terms of explosion. So first, we will advise our people to be able not to patronize those selling gas on the street. Go to the gas plant to buy your gas. Because if you go to any shop where they are decanting gases, you have signed your dead warrant. It's like you are taking snapper. Because if there's an explosion there, if you kill the person...
Well, Commissioner, what if we can't even afford... What if we can't afford...
That's my first advice.
My first advice. Okay, go ahead.
My second advice is that we must encourage investment in Rivers State. The more investment we have in the state, the more we'll be able to get those that will compress this gas, process this gas into LPG.
Commissioner, what if we can't afford? What if we can't afford to buy the gas now? What if we can't afford to buy it now? What do we do?
Well, if you cannot afford to buy the gas, you make alternative arrangements, and I don't know what are the alternatives other than going back to fossil fuel or source for kerosene.
That we have to wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining the conversation, especially my guest, Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter Medee is Rivers State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources. Commissioner, many thanks for your time. Hello, Commissioner? Hello? Okay, I think it's left the conversation. Well, that's a wrap for now. We've got a commercial break coming up. The news update for the hour at 5. And is all well with the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State? I'll be speaking with the party's chairman, Isaac Ogbebula, APC Rivers State chairman. Do please stay with us.